Oh, hey, you're still there. Nah, I'm just joking with you. Uh, hey everyone. It's me, Spondylexy15. I'm sure you did not recognize me at first. I know. I'm hard to. My face is hard to remember. I know. Don't lie. Anyway, welcome to the second part of the kind of thing I'm doing right now about myself. Last time I talked about my personality, which is basically the kind of how do I react about to certain emotions, what I liked and what I did not like, stuff like that. Uh, so it's a bit hard to say, but I don't think it's gonna anger all of you, any of you anyway. I will change a bit the subject of this video. Last time I said that in this one I would be talking about like kind of events that happened to me in my life, but I don't think that would be really interesting because most of the video would literally be me looking at the emptiness that is the reality, thinking for something to say for like 2 minutes each time I'm out of stories to talk. So I will more do like I think I'm gonna mostly talk about things that I like that simply happened to me, not a specific thing that's like events or something. Sorry for that. So I'm just gonna talk about a bit of random things about myself, not personality stuff centered. Anyway, uh, so yeah, see, stand back, relax, and enjoy. I don't know if this one is gonna be longer than the last video I did. I think this one was like 45 minutes long, which is the longest video I've done yet. Pretty impressed for me. Almost like a live I did. I almost did a live stream. uh, but anyway, even if I would be on live, even if I would have been live, I don't think there would have been that much people watching me anyway. So yeah, enjoy me silently thinking to for something to say. Uh, oh yeah, I was thinking about it. Okay, so I've always liked animals. I think I've said that in the last one. Who cares? Yeah, I've always loved animals. I've even had a cat before, um, which I called Minnie, and it is so dumb. When I think about it now, my cat is dead. By the way, sorry if this makes some of you sad. The cat is dead by now. She passed away, like I think 2 years ago. Anyway, I don't want to remember about this. Anyway, I call my cat Minnie. In English, this word saying sounds really weird, but in French it sounds better. So yeah, when we found her, we didn't even bought her at like a pet store or something. We were at the house of one of my mom's brother, and then at some point there was like a small cat. It was like scratching on their kind of the thing that you put on your sliding doorways or windows to like keep flies and mosquitoes to enter. It was scratching on that, and they let a cat in and said that this guy would always come in like to see them and stuff. And it was like, and at that time, I think I was like what 6 or 7 years old, and I really wanted a cat or a dog, but my parents did not. They didn't want one because of all the responsibilities that this would have, and they knew that I would not take care to think about the responsibilities that would come with, and they were true, and so they just didn't. They're not wanting me to have a cat or a dog, but then there's like this opportunity, incredible, that this little cat would just appear like this, and it was like, can we keep it? And then my dad was like, "Mm." And so he decided to say yes anyway, because I think he knew that I would have been really sad for like 2 days straight that he did not let me keep a cat that just was in front of us. So yeah, we kept her, and I think she was already we think that she already had an owner because she was she couldn't have babies anymore. She couldn't be pregnant anymore. And I'm pretty sure that cats don't do that by the on their own. So yeah, she probably already had an owner. She did not have a necklace. She did not. I don't know if that's the real name. She did not have the thing that you put around their neck. She did not have they at it. And so yeah, oh yeah, and this is before. Well, that's obvious. That was before. I think the law that doesn't allow people to remove the. I'm so bad in English when I'm looking for the good words. The skin of the cats. That was before that law was put in on. So like you could do that, but like it was not really well seen, well received by others. Because like if you, I think all of you already know why the no this law was put on in the first place. I don't think it's the right reason, but to me, my perspective is that if you remove the claws of a cat, well, if it runs away because like for any reason, like maybe it doesn't love its owner, or it just already have an owner or something, or it's a wild animal. Well, if you remove their claws, then they won't be able to defend themselves in the wild or on their own if there's another cat or stray animal somewhere and they attack it. It wouldn't be able to defend itself, so it would just die. But so yeah. Anyway, back to the story. My dad wanted to remove the claws of the cat because you know why? Because of the fact that like um, scratch the furnitures in the house. But yeah, we did remove her claws, but it was not that bad anyway because she wouldn't really like to get out. Anytime we would get her out, she would like just lay on the ground and just not move, and she wouldn't move at all. Probably because she was stressed out. Her cat, my cat, her our cat was always a house cat. Like, well, we're pretty sure that if we would have put her outside, like in the backyard, she would just run away or hide under something, because she would be too afraid of the exterior. So yeah, she was a house cat, and like about the name, what the reason in the beginning I said that like her name does not fit anymore is because that was her fault. Our fault is because, well, it's a bit of her fault too. She would eat a lot. Like she really ate it food ate it. She would really eat food a lot. Like I'm pretty sure that cats don't really like go to their food bowl almost like 15 times a day or even more. But my cat would literally spend a lot of its time eating or sleeping. And I'm pretty sure that most cats just spend their time sleeping rather than eating. Anyway, that led to her being fat, like really fat. And so, because of it, her name did not fit with her anymore. But we did just not care about changing it because it was nice and cute. And she also recognized her as the with this name, eh? So why changing it? But yeah, she was a really nice cat, and when she passed out, it was, I think, the first time in my entire life that I've experienced the feeling of losing a member, a family, a close, so someone, a really close someone. Like, like my family is really big. Like, not that I have brothers or sisters. I don't have any brothers or sisters. It's more because my father and mother had like both had like five brothers and sisters together. For example, like my mother in my in the on my mother's side, the her parents had like 5 or 6 children. Same thing for my father's side. His parents would have like 5 or 6 children. So my parents both have like a lot of brothers and sisters, and I'm just alone on my own. So as you can probably tell, I have a pretty big amount of cousins and say and cousins or anyway whatever name. I have a lot of cousins. So yeah, so yeah, but like this, what I'm trying to say is that if when one of them would like pass away, not that it already happened, I don't think it never happened actually. Like if one of them would like pass away, pass out, I wouldn't really be that sad because they're not. Well, they're from my. We, you know what I mean. But like my cat was like in my house with my parents. We all together, all four, and it's really hard when you lose someone like this. I was really sad. What's really nice is that my father. The thing is that when my cat passed away, she was. I'm sorry. I'm not crying or anything. It's just because whenever I talk too much, I my throat gets all dry. My throat dries out, and so wait. Anyway, just wait there. I know that the fact that hearing me singing in the back is probably the most interesting thing you've ever heard today, but that's not the point. Okay, so like what I was saying is like when my cat passed away, she we were about to moving out. That's gonna be another story. Yeah, we were about to moving out of our whole house, and since neither me or my father, the house that my father was in, could keep the cat in. My father is because her girlfriend already has a cat and a dog, and my cat does not like any other cat. That's a fact, by the way. My cat does not like any other animal that her eyes. Like she was so much a house cat that whenever she would see just another cat by the window, she would just start freak out. They just, you know what cats do when they are angry or anything. But yeah, my cat did not like any other animals, which is why we always kept her inside because she would just get angry at anything she would see. But yeah, about the thing, yeah, and for my mother, it's because the owner of the building we wouldn't be moving in did not accept when the did not accept the animals. So yeah, sorry. If you see me drink water a lot, that's normal. I needed to keep talking. So yeah, so the only option we had was to bring my cat to a house that my father brought from his father in the Canton Lest in Canada, in Quebec. Really a far away place. And so it was literally the only thing we could think about to keep her somehow. And so we bring her there, and personally, I did not enjoy bringing her there because the day after we were there, she was nowhere to be found. Like that at first, also when we bring her to the place, she was really scared because it's normal for a cat to be scared when you bring her out of her own place. So she was really scared, and during the night I was able to like keep her with me a bit, like to comfort her. But in the morning of the next day, she was nowhere to be found, and we also had to left because I think I had school or something. And so I just left the house without even knowing where my cat was. And I was really freaked out by it. You don't know how much. And sadly, 2 days after that, she passed away. Yeah, no, I don't really want to talk about this anymore. So yeah, we're just gonna go to the next topic. Moving. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have already experienced moving out of a house to a new one. I had two experience of this. The first one wasn't too bad. Like the first, also the one of the major problem with this. Well, the first time I moved out, um, was because of my parent getting separated, not divorced, just separated. Because they felt like they were not really happy with each other anymore, so they decided to just take their own path. That's it, simple enough. End of the subject. So yeah, we were moving because of that, and my father already had a place to go because he would go live with his girlfriend, but my mother did not. So she had to make like meetings and stuff, what people do when they want to find someone. So yeah, she found someone really nice, and she's still with it to this day. We're gonna go to that later. So yeah, he had a not a house. He lived in an apartment building in La, La Colle, in Quebec. So yeah, in during like the I think like summer, I think it was like on the month of May of 2020, we moved away. We moved out of the place to over there. It was not that hard. His son was out to help us to bring the stuff in the truck, and yeah, it was just fine. After that, we went there. What's really kind of cool about the place that we were in, that we were at Lacolle, is that his name is William, by the way. It's like William had the biggest, not the biggest room, but like the biggest living area of the apartment building. It was almost like the entire size of the thing. Not at least like this. I don't know. Don't leave me alone. It was almost the whole side of this long. Like only the little part there was like a bit of a habitation in there, but like his place was really big. That's what I was trying to say. It was really big, and it was actually the biggest living. I'm gonna say living area of the whole apartment building. Well, the suit was it? I'm gonna say the suit. The suit under us also was similar, but a little bit smaller. So yeah, we had the biggest suit of the whole building, and that was really cool. So yeah, we lived there. Me and my mother lived there for about a year, and you gotta know that we were really happy, and we really really wanted to move out, to move away from there, for several reasons that are kind of similar to each other in some sort. The neighbors. Now, I'm pretty sure that like all of you know exactly what I'm gonna say. Like neighbors aren't really the best part of living in an apartment building. Um, but yeah, we've had pretty bad neighbors in there. First of all, first, there was always the people that would live or like above us would always have their music freaking loud. Well, not that, but well, yes, kind of loud, and it was really really annoying when, especially around like the not evening. I think it's evening. The part after the sorry, the dinner. So around that part, basically it was like a girl with her father, and the freaking girl would always put her freaking music so high. It was so annoying. In fact, whenever was sometimes when I would come back to school, I would just walk by the building and I could just hear her freaking music from the outside. The specialty of this thing is because she would always keep the door, like the sliding door, open. Just because I don't know, it was like summer or something. It was just really annoying. So yeah, eventually, they got away, which was really relieving. After that, I think it was like two two girls or something, like young adult girls, woman. Anyway, two women. Um, they weren't as annoying as the previous ones, but they were kind of it a bit because they would also put music a bit, but not that loud. After that, we had also. All right. After that, we had. Before that, I mean, we had two guys, and one of them had serious problems, like social problem, not mental. Basically, this guy was like being bullied. He was not a kid, like an adult guy, like a man. And there were always, at some point, the police showed up because of this. And so this guy was like followed by some freaking souls. And so at some point, they went to his apartment room. That's the word. It's apartment room. Anyway, they went to his apartment room and beat that out of him. I can't swear here. I don't want to get sued so early. But yeah, they would at some point they literally went to his apartment room and beat him up, bro. Like the hell. None of us wanted to be part of his thing, so we just watched from a distance. If you know what I mean, that's an expression, not literally, because we were just under him. But we know that it was true because, like I said, the police showed up at some point, but it was around it was like winter, and I literally one time I went out to take out the trash, and there was just freaking blood on the snow. Like, and this just proved that he had a freaking social problem. This guy, I don't know what he had, but eventually he was just kicked out of the place by the owner of the apartment, and that was relieving. And then the two women came in. After that, we had a couple, and they were annoying. First of all, they had a baby, and he was just, oh my god, he was the perfect representation of me, of the reason for why I hate babies. He was just okay. These people had a child. Okay, like I said, the problem with them is that, well, out of this, the guy was taking like dope or something. He was smoking something. It just personally, my my smell is not good, so it doesn't bother me. But from what William and my mother kept saying, it was really annoying to smell that all day. And the thing about the mother is that yes, she had a child, but she would always keep her in her room. Like she would put like those small little retractable doors in the doorway, so she wouldn't like head out. Because I'm pretty sure she was just they were just annoyed by her, or they just did not know how her baby needs to live. Because like, well, I mean, when she was like, really baby state, she would keep her with her. But when she would grow up and then like be able to walk and say and stuff, she would just lock her in her room and just go in the other rooms and just do her things, letting her freaking child alone, bro. That's not how you. That's not how you entertain a kid, bro. He needs attention. He needs attention, affection. I said the same word twice. Anyway, he needs to have interactions with others. If you leave him, anyway, I'm not gonna dive too deep in this. But anyway, the mother was not a good mother. Well, when she was with her baby, when the kid was with her, she was okay, she was fine. But it's when she would just put her in a room alone, and that's what I'm saying. The kid just wouldn't. I know it's not its fault. It's the fault of the mother, but it wouldn't. It just wouldn't shut up. It would always scream, cry, anything you want, and the mother just didn't care. You don't know how much. And the worst is that the baby's room was the one just over mine. So anytime sometimes I could just not keep the window open, like fresh air, because that dumb baby would just not shut its trap at all. Anyway, so yeah, that's how bad my neighbors were at that place. So you can expect um, that I was really relieved when I found out that we were moving away. Yeah. Now about uh, I think we moved out to here about like oh yeah. I think we kind of moved out a bit around after the holidays of the year. Like I know we moved out in 2021. That's what I know. I know we moved out in 2021. No, yes. We moved out a bit after that I finished the school. Yes. Sorry, just because I'm getting topics as I talk, so it's really cool. So I don't spend 1 minute. So there aren't really like minutes of me not seeing anything and staring the emptiness of the universe. To find ideas. And I wish I could edit just so this part could be removed because it doesn't need to be seen. It's useless. Anyway, so we moved out a bit about um, we moved out a bit about after I finish this year of school. I was no that's probably we moved out a bit after, and it was painful for me. It was painful to do this moving away because we had a lot of things to pack up. Basically, compared to our house that we had at Brossard, still in Quebec, there was the way it worked. It was that my father would take like the stuff that he wanted to keep for himself with him, and me and my mother would keep the rest. Well, like he wouldn't just take everything, even stuff that my mother would like. Like I think he would let her keep, like choose the stuff that she would want first, and then he would take what he wants after, and then I think the rest we just took it. So yeah, there was really less things to pack up um, from our house at Brossard to Lacolle than the apartment room of Lacolle to Noyant. Because that's here I'm in Noyant, another part in Quebec, which is really nice. So yeah, we had really a lot of things simply because we had our things, but William's things too. Because otherwise, he was living here, he was living there. I think before he was living there with his son, and then his son got a girlfriend and he went with her. But otherwise, anyway, he was living with his mother, like in another apartment room. That was nice so that was nice for them. So yeah, basically, he was not totally alone. But yeah, we had our things and his things. But he stayed there about 5 years, I think. So he had a lot of stuff, and it was so painful. The main reason for why I hated the moving part was because most of the time it was only me and my mother we were we were doing this on weekdays and he was working on weekdays, so he could only help us Well, he could only do his part around like when he would come back, which was normally around like 5 or 6 p.m. And so basically, it was most of the time just me and my mother working all the time, and it was really, really, really annoying, especially for me because my mother has something to her intestines that can't really allow her. It's not a prescription or something. It's just that because it's too painful for her. So I had to pay to. I was the person. I was the one who was like, for forcing the most, and it's annoying. Really, really annoying. hmm I think we took around maybe like a week or two, maybe like one and a half week to completely bring all our stuff to our house here. Oh yeah, now I'm gonna talk to. That's because if I don't talk about this, the rest won't make any. Will be a bit randomized. So when we moved here, actually, when William and my mother bought the house, it was not there's not been someone living here for I don't know how much year, but not that long. But the old owner died of cancer, and he was not taking good care of his house at all. It's not at all. Like if I could have showed you uh what the house looked like when we arrived here, like when we got all of our stuff in at the beginning and what it looks like right now, you would be pretty disgusted by how much this house has not been hasn't got any kind of good care in a while. Like I'm not necessarily talking about the basic house when we got in. Most of them, especially when I'm mostly talking about the stuff that happened um, when we had to make place for stuff. For example, the garage that William is using for his works and stuff was disgusting. The whole around the garage was disgusting. There was on the side there was like a bunch of bushes and vines and stuff. And when he was cutting the things, there was so much trash there. Oh my god, it was disgusting. There was a freaking full um, gas can. I'm not joking. There was a freaking gas jug of gas full in the bushes. It was disgusting. So yeah, we there was a lot of things of changes and modification to do to this house, to this house, to for it to look how it is right now. It's not even fully complete yet. There are still a bunch of stuff that needs renovation here. If I take from what William said, I think there is mostly um, there's still my room to be redone. There is their old room at them. There is the um, the room with the the cleaning supplies to redo too. It was pretty impressive. Like I'm not even talking to you about the basement. Oh my god. Well, if you can call it a basement, to me a basement is a place where you can go without problems and store things. This is more like a cave, not with rocks and stuff, but it's mostly this is the cave is probably by now the only place in the house that hasn't really got any touches yet. We just simply because we just started we started messing around in the cave not that long ago too. Like right now, William is especially working on fixing the electricity in the house, especially for the winter. Like for example, in my house, they just finished adding the heater because you would be surprised how cold it is in my room at night. compared to the rest of the house. And I'm fine. That's what is weird. I'm just fine in here. Anyway, so there was a lot of changes and modifications to do in this house for it to be livable again. So yeah, back to the moving stuff. So we had to basically the thing also was that since the house to be fully redone in the inside, not necessarily in the outside, uh, we had to also we also had to go back to come here and like make the like painting and do a little bit of painting, cleaning stuff, and also making place for stuff um, like deciding where which box would go to optimize the places the most. Like it took about um, maybe 2 weeks after we got in to have um, the living room that it is to have the living to make the living room look how it is right now. Well, it got some changes, but that's basically how it looks still. Um, Actually, I could show you. I think I don't know how this fully works, but you know, you can basically see how it looks right now. Like originally, it was made mostly like just piles of boxes all around because we just did not really have any other place to put them in. But yeah, that's basically how the living room looks like. Also, a bit of things that the proof that my room is not fully finished is that most of the boxes that we still haven't really found a place for the containing are in my room. There are more boxes in the closet, but I don't want to open it because I'm lazy. So yeah, that's about it for this. And so yeah, gonna make it. There you go. So yeah, that's about it for this the moving stuff. When we got in, also yeah, but when we got in, like I said, the fact that this house hasn't been lived uh in a while meant that bugs kind of took over it. Not nature, not yet, but bugs kind of took over it. For so when we got in, the mosquito problem was so annoying. You don't understand how much. The first night we slept in here, I kept the the thing the flies with. I kept one with me just to kill the freaking mosquitoes that would come in my room. Mostly because I kept the light on all the time, but you know what I mean. That's it. So yeah, that's about it for this part. Actually, uh, we're already at like 38 minutes on it. I think I'm gonna you get say talk about the last one, and I'm gonna call it a day. At least for now. So now I think I'm gonna be talking about school. I'm so sorry. So I could do the whole thing. Okay. So I've kind of got a kind of wacky school situation in my life. I've done all the years, by the way. I think I've failed like only one or two of them, and one of them, I think like teachers had freaking pitied me, so they let me pass anyway. Those assholes. But anyway, so yeah, I did most. I actually did all the years necessary to get like to secondary 5 or 5th grade anyway. I finished. I did graduate, by the way. I did graduate. I did not fail the year or anything. that's also kind of why I'm not in school right now, because I just was tired of school. Freaking COVID made my last school year a freaking pain in the butt, and I absolutely did not want it to experience that again. But in college, yeah, that's about. I just really did not want to experience that hell in that kind of place, simply because in college there's a lot more things to think about at the same time, and I am not good to these kind of things. So I just said, screw it. I'm gonna find myself a job instead. I think I'm not gonna talk about like each year, because there's nothing really worth talking about in each year. That's about it. Uh, yeah, talk about school in general. In case you're wondering, uh, I had the word on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna talk about um, I won't say matters, but I know it's not the real name, the real word for this. In French, it's in French. It's this word you see, les matières on à l'école. But in English, it's not the same. I don't know what it is. Anyway, I was pretty good in French, because in here, since we're in Quebec, French is the first language, is the base language of us, and English is another school stuff to learn. So I was pretty decent in French. Grammar, if you prefer, in English, I don't care. Like I don't, you mean I don't know if in English, like in places where at school you talk English normally, the French class is where you learn French, or it's just like grammar stuff. Like I know that in on the I know that at the United States, I don't even think there are truly French classes, because why would they need to learn French in at the United States? It's almost like a fully English country. But anyway, and also I'm pretty sure like most of you, like English class is mostly grammar or something. But anyway, I was pretty decent in French at my during when I was in school. In the when I at the first I was not too well. I was kind of okay, but as I went up on the grades, I was getting better. I never failed a French. I never failed in French in all of the school years I've done. Next, or math. Now I know that I know that a lot of people say that if you're good in French, you're bad in math, and the inverse happens, is the same. If you're good in math, you're bad in French. In my case, it was the first. I was good in French, but bad in math. I was not good at math, mostly because I don't have a good quick memory. Meaning like I can easily forget something that someone just said to me, like instantly. This is why now when someone explains something to me, like in a long speech, at the end I kind of make a summary of what they said, just to be sure that all of they said, just to be sure my mind can 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 understand it well. So yeah, before I was not that good at math. I think I've never got a grade. I think I've never got at the end of a year. I don't think I've ever got a final note higher than like 70. To be perfectly honest, I was always in math. I was always like right above failing, but I was always right above failing, like at 60 something. Always, almost always about around 60. Sometimes under 60, but most of the time just literally around 60. And that is, and I can't believe I was just that lucky to always almost get that. Like I said, on my sixth grade, I think, I don't know how the school's years are called in English. Uh, anyway, in my sixth grade, at the end of the year, apparently I had to fail that year, but I guess the commission scolaire had pity of me and just let it pass anyway. So yeah, and because of that, I ended up in special classes when I got to secondary school, l'école secondaire, and I can't really. Well, I mean, it was kind of useful at the beginning. Well, it was kind of useful, but at some point, I was just getting bored of all the others who were like just straight up idiots and morons. I'm sorry if that's hurtful to some people, but I don't freaking care. There were some people in those classes that are just you just look at them and hear them talking just okay, now I understand why these type of classes exist. When I was in a special class. I was in special classes from the secondary 1 to 4. Yeah, secondary 1 to 4. At the 5th grade, I'm at secondary 5. I was still in a special class, but it was less special than from 1st to 4th grade. The secondary 1 to 4. The one that the people that talk French understand what I mean by secondary grades. So yeah, the first grade on at the I think it's middle school or something. Anyway, the first year of these special classes, basically, I also found out that basically when you're um, you know, when you're in secondary 1, it's basically just a summary of what you saw in 6th grade. So it's there really isn't nothing new in that year. And I failed it. I failed it because I'm pretty sure that basically the thing is because when I was in the when I was like before, when I was young, there was always someone like TS who was helping me out during classes because I have a TDAH. No, I don't think that's the right name for it, but j'ai un TDAH. Basically like hyperactivity trouble, stuff like that. You know what I mean? I had that, and so there was always someone who was next to me and helping me out during classes. And when I entered secondary school, there was not that special someone there. So I was like kind of on my own, but there was still someone looking at the whole class. And it manages to make me fail. But anyway, I did it again the next year and I passed it better. Yeah, actually I failed only 2 years. No. Never mind. The first I failed, I redid it and got it. That's also the way that I met most of my friends because I think we almost all failed the year. All of my friends almost all failed the year. Um, so yeah, the year after was that secondary. Okay, literally nothing interesting to say about it. Secondary 3, I started doing integrations, which is basically classes. Basically, you pick up a, a subject, a school subject or anything like subject like science, art, things like that. You pick one, and the you're given the schedule of a class that is like a regular class with people that are normal. So you're given that schedule, and so whenever this class, whenever the schedule shows that you have a class, you have to go in that class in regular classes with regular people. And I really liked it. I was not surrounded by idiots for once. So yeah, was that the but actually when you get to secondary 3, you're kind of forced, you're forced to pick at least one and two. You're actually forced to pick two subjects to do in regular classes, because at some point you have the basic goal of those special classes is actually to pick you up, help you get better, and then throw you back into normal classes. And that's pretty interesting when you think about it. So yeah, it was that. I think the first one I picked were science and art. I think it's science and art. That fourth secondary, I had English, art, science, and history. Yes, I had history, not geography, history. Um, so yeah, um, I failed history and math that year. So when I would go, when I was no, I failed. No, I failed. Um, Wait, I'm misunderstanding myself. I integrated science, arts, and history in secondary 3. That year, I failed history and math. So, like, so next year, I did this, and this time, at the school that I was in, at some point, they took a class somewhere in the school to to basically make so that when a student in the special classes integrates more than 3 subjects, he goes into that class, because this is basically like a class. This is basically like a gate that you go in when you're like just between special and normal. And so from there, you start integrating even more math, even more class subjects. That year, I took religious classes and in English. It was cool. Like I said, I failed history in 3. So in fourth, I had math of 3 and history of 3. And that is okay. And as you know, around that time, there was COVID. So, and the government, like the idiots that they are, which is also kind of good, they made every student pass their year, no matter what situation they were in. So I passed 4, and then I was in 5. Then I was in 5. But since we were moving out of my house of Brossard, and we're going to Lacolle, I couldn't go to the same school anymore, which was Girard Fillon at Longueuil. I couldn't go there anymore since it was too far away. So I had to change school. I was going to school in Saint Jean, which, since I was in 5, it was not that bad. Like, really not that bad. It was pretty cool, actually. It was really nice to, like, there were still special classes, but there was only one, because this school was really small compared to the school that I was before, which is Girard Fillon. Girard Fillon is a really big school. But actually, the funniest thing about it is that in the scholarity commission of the school, like commission scolaire, it was the school that was centered around sports. And I'm gonna talk more about that, about why I'm saying that later. So yeah, that's that. The school is really small, so there was only 2 special classes. One which was really for special, really like at Girafillon, but the other one was for people less weirder. They weren't as weird. Like even the special class weren't as weird as the one at Girafillon. It was just like for a bit people a little bit weirder. But yeah, the class that I was in was just normal, just people with a bit of with general difficulties like uh, concentration, concentration trouble, hyperactivity, things like that. People, basically, people that had trouble to concentrate on something. And I have to admit, it was really useful for real. In fact, I passed that year. So yeah. Uh, so yeah, I moved out to another school, and like I said, the I really liked the atmosphere of the school because in the other school that was I was in special classes, so the places that I would spend most of my time were filled with, I don't like saying this, with people who always made sound and annoying things, who were just annoying, and at some point it was just really annoying. Sorry if I keep using the same word. So yeah, going to a place where I was, by the way, I was fully integrated, so I was not, so I hadn't any like subjects in the class that I would spend my time in. They were all in normal classes. So yeah, and it was just really nice to be with people who were just serious. Well, not fully serious, who weren't just weird and stuff. Like everyone was nice to each other, and we're just freaking chill, dude. So nice. So yeah, that's about it. Actually, I think. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, there is one thing that I still talk about before keeping on going on with the subjects. School buses. For me, I had a pretty special adventure with school buses, especially the drivers. Well, at the end, the people, and at the first, the drivers. The first time I would take a school bus to go to school was in secondary two. The main reason for this is because it was too far away from my house, so my mom was not able to bring me there all the time. At first, since I was in special class, we had these kind of not kind of Uber, this kind of taxi, the Berlin, qui knew which bring us to school. It was pretty nice, I guess. For me, it was just meh. In sec two, I would start taking school bus. It was okay, I got to meet a lot of people. Were pretty nice. It was just the first time. It was just the driver that I didn't like, just because he was really severe on the things. Anyway, so yeah, it was pretty straightforward. The kind of basic. You don't scream. You don't get up without. You don't get up. You just stay. You just sit down and don't scream. Anyway, so yeah, the first year was not that good. I did not like it, mainly because some people were just annoying. The third after that, I got a woman as a driver, which was really nice, and she would go on to be my bus driver for until I changed school, which was really nice. Yeah. After that, and yes, after that, I went to the school that I was in for five, and it was so annoying. Basically, there was this concept of I think that's training or something. Basically, you would get picked up by a school, by a bus. It would bring you to somewhere where all where other buses would go to, and then after that you would some people would and then for some people you would have to change bus for it, and he would bring you to the place that you need to go to. Um, the main reason for this is because the buses were going to two different schools, and mine had my bus had fucking, yeah, I'm so sorry, freaking second three students, and you don't realize it at first, but there's no second. There's the other school that the buses would go to was a school that was like only sec 1 to 3. The school that I was in was only 4 to 5, so it was mainly mature people. But 1 to 3, oh my god, the bar gets low really quickly. My whole bus was filled with people that students that were only from sec 1 to sec 3, and it was so annoying. They were so immature and so wow. Anyway, long story short, the you don't believe how much I was happy when the school year was finished. You don't get it. Oh yeah, and also, little anecdote. The last day of school, my bus, basically, there was a student who just moved away, and he did not remember his address. So this the driver was like going back and forth all around because he was not able to find the right path to where he needed to go. And really luckily for me, my mother went to the school because she was wondering where I was, and she stepped upon a lady who was ordered to go back to go to the bus to join the to go to the bus to retrieve the person who did not know his address, just so the bus can keep going and drop the people to their own respective place. And luckily for me, as I said, like for me, my mother was there and was able to follow the lady to the bus, and I was able to get home with my mother. And I'm so glad this happened because I don't think I would have been able to take it much longer. Yeah, that's about it. Matters. Subjects. So yeah, math and was bad, pretty bad. Science for me, I just did not. I like, but I also did not like science. I like science because of the subjects, but I did not like science because it was just maths, but with a theme attached to it. Literally, that's all what science is to me. Like when you're in science and you talk about space, that's so interesting. But when you get to the action, it's so boring. Sorry, science is meh. English, I really no. Well, no, English was pretty fine. When I was in when I was young, my teacher was just so boring, and I don't know how she was supposed to teach you anything, but she wasn't teaching us anything, in my opinion, about English. You know, the kind of teacher that's like, anytime the class starts, they're like, "Good morning," said name, and everyone has to reply to it, and it's so boring. Yeah, but when I got to secondary school, things were just better. The teacher was really nice. He was actually a teacher that I would see really almost like each year. It was really nice. And when I got to Sec 5, the year was just really nice because the teacher was just really teaching us things. So I was really learning things. So English was nice. Art, I like it, but I'm not that good at it. There was this one time where we had to do a drawing of a phobia. Like, you kind of have the theme was like phobia, and you had to draw something with a Sharpie, I think, the marker, and you basically had to draw something with this. You had to draw something. You have to pick up a phobia, and you had to try to represent it in a drawing, which is really interesting. And my freaking idea was that I really liked my drawing, by the way. was the Fear of the Dark. I don't know what it is, Fear of the Dark. And I had this idea, the inspiration of drawing Night Marion from Five Nights at Freddy's 4 in the drawing, like hunting a child in its bed. I really liked that drawing. I'm really pissed off that I did not kept it. So art, I really liked it. Uh, History was, well, in was in, when I was young, it was pretty cool. But as you get higher in the grades, it gets just boring, especially um, in Sec 4 and 5, because then you get into Monde Contemporain, and this is just the most boring thing you've ever heard. Also, what I found really nice is that in Sec 5, my teacher, that the person that would teach um, contemporary world, Monde Contemporain, was also the teacher who would teach me financial education, which was really nice. Yeah, and by the way, since I was a grade lower in history in Sec 5, I had, well, I had I had another teacher that would teach me something. Anyway, so yeah, history, it's kind of okay. Uh, Religious and culture, that's boring as hell. Literally, it's just freaking boring. Except for the sexual classes. That's just what I love about this class is that I'm totally fine with this, but it just seeing the reaction of others. Well, I mean, in Sec 5, everyone is just mature enough to just not laugh when you see penis. So that's nice, I guess. Really nice, actually. I mean, so yeah, religious and cultures is just boring. Uh, Physical education, that was my worst enemy, boy. Oh my god. I've never, I've always passed in physical education because I was literally doing just what was enough. I do not like sports or exercise at all. Well, a while ago, I was starting to do like bicycle around the streets here, like to make a bit of exercise. And I just noticed that it's winter soon. Dumb, bro. You can do bike and so in snow. Where do you think you are? Duh. And so yeah, yeah. By the way, there's already snow in here, and that's really nice. So yeah. So it was like, why did I not start it this early? Not in summer because I would just be horrible, but like even maybe like at the beginning of fall, they would have been fine. But anyway, I never liked physical education, except it's mainly because at the start of each class, the teacher would force you to make a jog or something. It would force you to jog or run a bit each time, and I hated this so much. It's so annoying. Why does it need to do this? To do this? When I was in Sec 5, otherwise, however, it was a the teacher did not force us to jog or something around something at the beginning of each class. So that was nice, except for the la trotte. That was horrible and so stressful, dude. I just really wanted to. The thing about it is that this is like the final. This is kind of like the final exam in physical education in Sec 5. Basically, if you fail it, you fail the matter totally. But the thing with it is that you can pass it and not have done anything during the whole year, and you can pass your grade. No. Well, I mean, I was really stressed about this, but even though now remember I noticed that technically as long as you were doing something, you could not really fail it. To fail it, had to not do it. Basically, la trotte, c'est basically it's like you have a like a track to do, and you have to do the track 5 times while jogging. I was not jogging the whole time. I was literally the whole side around. I would just walk, and whenever I would get to the side that the teacher could see us go, I would just start jogging. And then when I would get back to the back to the left and right, I would just start walking again. And at the end, it was just long and painful because I couldn't run because I would get too tired, so I just walked, and it was just so long. Like I was trying to walk fast, but it was painful to my feet and my legs. So yeah, that's about it for this video. I made it to 1 hour and 11 minutes. That's my new record again. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah. I don't have any idea yet on what I will talk about in the next video. So expect it to show up at I don't know when. So yeah, see you.